Hello. Thank you so much for dropping by this video. So this is going to be a guided meditation we're going to start with a guided meditation on receiving, on taking in divine life energy. It's very easy to do. Please sit with your legs uncrossed, feet flat on the floor, hands on your legs, palms facing upwards. Back in a relaxed, upright position, if possible, not leaning against your chair. And then close your eyes. Taking a few breaths, coming into the present moment. And then handing over, giving away all problems, all burdens, all worries to your understanding of a higher power or to a spiritual helper whom you trust. Let's spend a minute now and really empty ourselves of all problems, all worries, resentments. Handing them over. And then having emptied ourselves out, asking to receive divine life energy. And then observing your body, having the will and intention to take that in. So we're going to sit for a little bit, just doing that simple practice, observing the body with the intention to take it in. Observing the body, having the intention, the will to take this energy in. Hi, Jisoo. Thanks for saying hello. taking in this good energy. So I'm going to share a few words. Please continue to keep tuning in, taking in this good energy, this divine energy, this limitless energy. So Bruno Goerning said, and to anyone who's new, this channel is dedicated to the work of this man, Bruno Goerning. He said, nothing is impossible for God. Nothing means nothing. To flip that around, everything is possible for God. And I woke up this morning so inspired, specifically this, hi Melanie, specifically this vision that you find at the end of the Bible and you find in Bruno Goerning's work, a vision of heaven or paradise restored to earth. And I woke up this morning really feeling like, wow, it is possible. Like it's going to happen. And I can be a part of it. Each person can be a part of it. So the how is actually really simple. It seems so complicated, right? It's the 21st century. All of us here have access to the internet. We're all well aware of very many problems in this world. We could probably all list off all the different problems, and the solution seems so complex. But actually, Bruno Goerning provided a very simple solution. And I'm convinced that the solution, the thing that I love so much about Bruno Goerning is he used simple language. So far as I can tell, he didn't really share anything new. And he himself said that it was ancient knowledge or wisdom that had just been forgotten. And the deeper I dive into the teachings of Bruno Goerning, I just see the fundamental principles of any major religion or spiritual tradition just presented in very simple language. So what is the answer to all the problems of the world, according to Bruno Goerning? Very simply, learning how to tune in and access this limitless power and learning to be guided, learning how to properly be guided by the divine, the universal, the great. I don't think it's any more complicated than that. Yes, there are some spiritual principles that really help things flow, like understanding good and evil and watching our thoughts and having faith and trust in this higher power. And in fact, those universal principles, I don't think they're optional on the spiritual path. But again, it's not something that Bruno Goerning came up with. He certainly maybe languaged it in a slightly different way, but you find those principles across culture, across history, but very simply that there is this infinite, limitless power, source, that which made all of this, how to access it and how to be guided by it. And until we have the faith or trust to be guided directly by that power, to be guided by a spiritual helper, such as Bruno, such as Christ. And it's not my place to say whether they're the only two or I don't know such things. I'm just a guy sitting in front of his computer. Just a guy in a mobile home in Florida sitting in front of his computer. But if I'm understanding Bruno's teachings correctly, it's not about you or me becoming this extraordinary person, but tapping into this extraordinary power and letting it work through us. And the main ways that I understand it to work through us is to guide us, and that we can then pass this energy along to others, much less solve. We each have our own individual challenges. So let's reflect on all of this. Could the solution really be that simple? And that's not to say there won't be details to work out or conversations to be had or challenges to be faced. I've shared sort of the overview of my journey with the teachings of Bruno Gröning of being in an unsolvable health situation, needing to be on psychiatric meds, the meds destroying my body. If I got off the meds, my mood would fluctuate. When my mood would fluctuate, I'd feel suicidal. I was trapped. Found out about Bruno, was skeptical but desperate and open, started going to community hours, eventually started to tune in. Healing started to happen one after another. Completely got my health back, got my life back, was genuinely happy for really the first time in my adult life. Some very painful, challenging things happened. I lost my faith. Spent some years, many years, struggling, seeking to find my way back. Like to think I found my way back now. Really studied deeply Bruno's teachings. And having studied them deeply, what I've come to is that it's really simple. And a huge part of it is relying on Bruno Gröning or your spiritual helper. And if not your helper, then God. But I found it's very difficult, until we're able to really fully trust in God. That's one of the reasons I need a helper. I need something I can see, something with form. But to really rely on them throughout the day, asking for help, throughout the day, asking for guidance, throughout the day, thinking of Bruno or Christ, thinking of God. Really saying, okay, you're in charge, guide me. What would you have me do? But this word keeps coming, relying. Instead of relying on my limited human self, relying on Bruno, relying on God. And that's what Bruno said got the human race in trouble. Some way, somehow, we came up with the insane and silly idea that we could do it without God and without nature. And so the way Bruno explains it, we gradually pulled away from both, from nature and from God. The way I like to say it is we conducted an experiment, and the world around us is the results. The results are in. Please, let's not continue the experiment. To come before God or to come before your spiritual helper and say, I can't do it without you. Now, that's easy to do when life is rough, right? When we're really challenged, it's like, God, help, I can't do this. I need you. But to remember that all the time, or more and more and more and more, especially when things are good. When things start to go well, it's like, maybe I don't, not consciously like, oh, I don't need God, but my behavior, I'll speak for myself. When things start to go well, it's like, I got this. Like, yeah, I'll tune in. Yeah, I'll think about God every now and then. Bruno Gröning boldly declared, what are we humans without God? I say with conviction, nothing. That's utter humility. Every day, it's like, what is a human being without air? Dead. What is a human being without God? Bruno said there's no life without God. You could say a walking corpse. Yesterday, I looked at a quote where Bruno said that it's like we've been misaligned. I'll just read it. Man is not free. He cannot do anything freely. He may not even to think freely. He indeed has been misaligned to a hypnotic state. What are we human beings without God? We're sort of like hypnotized zombies walking around doing things, thinking we're alive and thinking we're free, when according to Bruno Gröning, we're really not. We're really being guided by something else, something not good. So let's realign with the divine. Realign with the divine. And personally, I need the help of I need the help of someone like Bruno Gröning, who I see as a master. And to anyone who's focused on Jesus, I think everything I'm saying is actually what Christ taught. And actually, just the real essence of what Christ taught. It's like when I look at Christianity and I look at the teachings of Bruno Gröning, I only see one. Obviously, there's all sorts of doctrines and ideas, but the only fundamental difference I see is that Bruno Gröning says, yes, I can help too. Whereas Christianity often would say, only Jesus can help. Other than that, and again, I think that was maybe tagged on. And my understanding is Bruno came to point us back by his own words to the path of Christ. Maybe that's the difference, a path contrasted with a religion. So, I'd like to thank everyone for joining in. Thanks for saying hi, Jisoo and Lipiche. If I said that correct, and I believe your name was, you said your name was Melanie. You're very welcome. Thank you. I start off most of my videos saying thank you so much for joining in. And the reason why I do that is because I believe what we're doing together, this taking in of energy and this studying and hopefully practicing of Bruno's teachings, which I think are just Christ's teachings, I think it's the way that can turn everything around. It's not so much like, thanks for joining me personally, but thank you for joining into this work. So, dear God, dear Bruno, please, for everyone who watched this video and everyone who drops by it, highest blessing. Please, for this YouTube channel, all the other parts of this ministry, please, for everyone sharing the work of Bruno Gruning, please, for everyone sharing the work of Christ, please, for everyone contributing, serving the good, and please, for ourselves, deeper and deeper devotion to that and guidance. How can we serve? Everyone wants to help. It's one of the most fundamental instincts of our soul, to help, to contribute, to serve. So please, God, please, Bruno, show us how we can help. And let's reflect on our days. And for me, it's the morning. My day is just getting started. Just asking that each part of the day and each activity be blessed. Maybe above all else, please, faith and trust. Deepen our faith in the good, in order and harmony, goodness and love in God. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for joining in. I wish everyone a beautiful love, life, harmony, health, and goodness-filled day, a God-filled day. Take care, angels. Big love.